Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Good morning, everybody.
We're on the wrong sides on that.
What do you mean we're on the... Oh, well, now you tell me. Hold on. Wait.
All right. It's not
Fixed.
That'll work.
Fixed it. All right. Good morning, Deacon.
Hello.
Today is October 18th. It's the 18th of October.
Yes.
And it is Tuesday morning monster movies part 2. So we're not going to forget today. We're not going to forget today.
We had the title for the show, and that's what the show was about. And then we get to the end of the show, and I told JJ,
like,
we didn't do monster movies. So JJ took 5 minutes and tried to cram 4 monster movies in 5 minutes, and it didn't work. So we're like, this sucks. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Hey, it's the learning.
Fun talking about the monster movies.
It's the learning curve for me. You know,
right.
I'm not a pro.
We don't
Honestly, if anything, I should be disappointed in you. You know better than
no. This is your rig. I'm just riding along beside you, dude.
Nobody's at the wheel. There's nobody driving.
Nobody driving this son of a bitch.
The gas pedal is got a brick on it, and we're both on guitars on the front with flamethrowers, getting driven around by I don't know what. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. I hope that you are here. We are live on rumble.com/JJW and also some other places on the internet. I know that the ones that you are on are probably the stinky ones, and just be careful because you can get some nasty diseases there.
That translates to YouTube sucks, and you should go to Rumble. That's
where we are streaming in 1080p, as I understand it. We're in 1080p. He's got that phone thing going on. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, especially to everybody that is hanging out in the Fun Slingers server. We got some more activity. I'm learning how to use the forum feature yesterday. I put together like some forum. I'm going to call it forums for cool shit. So there's within Discord. I always thought it was kind of like pointless to have a forum in Discord because Discord is like an active chat. But the forum thing is actually kind of cool. So we're going to start adding in content in there. So we've got like forums for like science fiction books and fantasy books and just different kinds of genres and stuff that you kind of enjoy. We got a forum for like card games and for I don't know, astronomy, some other stuff that we just kind of like neat, interesting topics that are appealing to people. We're going to have a place for that, but that's over on the Fun Slinger server where I am spending the majority of the day. All right, Deacon. Do you want to talk about some effed up stuff this morning?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All
Sorry,
right.
I've got to fucking
do
some real quick.
It's another one of those days, of course. All right. So
I'm still like listening to. I'm not ignoring you.
All right.
I'm listening to you every word you're saying.
All right.
So
this is not good. What I'm about to show you guys.
Oh no. Okay. Great.
Yeah, it's not great. According to the Daily Mail, I saw this morning. This is an exclusive.
I saw this morning too. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an exclusive story from dailymail.com, which, by the way, oh, good, you can see my whole browser, is 64.5 YouTube. That's real news. Exclusive, quote, "This is playing with fire. It could spark a lab-generated pandemic. Experts slam."
We've never had one of those.
No, I mean, no, this could never happen. Experts slam Boston lab where scientists have created a new deadly COVID strain with an 80% kill rate. That's Researchers took the spike protein off of the very, very infectious Omicron variant, and they added it to the original Wuhan variant.
Ooh.
So they made the Wuhan variant extra sticky.
Awesome. I like sticky.
You retarded people. But that's not all.
Yeah, that's not all. It's not all.
No,
what else are they
doing
to us? Wow, I'm so interested in this.
Boston University scientists were condemned for playing with fire. Daily Mail revealed that the team has made a hybrid virus. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Professor.
Yeah, whoever. Some professor. Keep going.
You
don't have to pronounce
right? Says it should be forbidden. All right. Yeah. But get this. Boston University. Hold on. A senator called it unconscionable. I saw it in here. Hold on. I think it's in here. Let me see if it's in here. EcoHealth. Guess which wonderful organization is involved in this? EcoHealth Alliance is involved in this. Yeah. Who are they? That's the nonprofit that the National Institutes for Health were channeling money to that developed the Wuhan strain.
So you mean to tell me that that you are alluding to that these COVID strains and these infectious diseases actually generate people a lot of money? Is that what you're saying? Because I thought we were just healing people, JJ. I thought that's what the whole fucking world was about. Isn't it about healing people? There's no greediness in this. People aren't about making money. We're about saving lives, JJ. It's about saving lives. It's not about making money. Making money is a pretty evil thing. Nobody's like that. We are good people.
If anything, they're just saving people from living to a nice old age. Okay, so this is connected.
To be honest, anymore in this fucking world we live in, do you want to live to be 80 years old in this fucking world?
I
don't.
I mean,
we
I don't want
to shit world right now.
Halfway there already.
Shit world.
I'm not.
I am
not
too. I'm over halfway to 40. I'm over halfway to 80, and we live in a shit world.
I I think we can make things better. That's what I'm trying to do here.
No. I appreciate your I appreciate your positivity, and I admire it. I really don't get me wrong. I envy your positivity, and I greatly admire that about you. No, don't get negative on yourself. You are one of those positive people, and I'm not. And when you do that, you know me. I'm like, man, bah humbug. But I look at you, and I'm like, man, I really wish I could be that way, and I really wish I could go, we could all get together and make the world a better place if we. And I'm just not that way. I'm not.
I mean, dude, it's not as hard as it sounds. We just have to start taking power and authority away from these evil and not give it to other people. Cut its nuts off.
We're already past the point of trying to do that, JJ. Have you ever heard the did anybody ever tell you before you got your kids that it's easier to be more, rigid and structured than it is to be, to start off and then get easier than it is to be easy and then try to get rigid and structured? Because if you're a hard ass all the time and then you're like, well, we can do this, it works easier. But if you're just like, whatever, dude, y'all do what you want, and people just then try, what I'm saying?
I can understand what you're saying
before, and it doesn't work.
Oh, I'm not saying there's not like enormous momentum and inertia and resistance,
right?
But here's the thing. Okay, so I'm going to put it in Michael Malice language or in some other language. There is this. Maybe you've heard of this. You remember the Matrix? Yeah. I'll just talk for a second then. You remember the Matrix? You remember the blue pill, the red pill, and then there's the white pill and the black pill. In the Matrix, though, you remember the Lawrence Fishburne gave Neo an opportunity. Choose the blue pill, believe all the crap you've been told this whole life, and stay in here and eat your steaks in the Matrix, or the red pill and find out what reality is really like. Well, that's not the only two choices, man. There's also, unfortunately, the black pill, where you believe that there's no hope, there's no way out of things. But that's not the only choice either. You can also choose to be white-pilled. White-pilled recognizes that we are being governed and led by the stupidest motherfuckers to ever live on this planet. They are retarded. They're only in place because we've allowed them to be in place. They're the dumbest motherfuckers ever.
We've allowed them, like you said. We got complacent. We let the wool get pulled all over our eyes on purpose. I mean, we purposefully let the wool get pulled all over our eyes because we are too busy looking and staring at the shiny object over here to actually figure out what's going on. And they've done that to us. They will cause things to happen. And while things are happening and we are looking at the dancing girl spinning around, we're not watching the magician in the back doing all the stuff and pulling and we're not watching them in the back. We're just not doing it. And we've done that for 20 and 30 years. And some of us crazy ass conspiracy people have been saying for 20 and 30 years, hey, you people, they're doing this and this and this and this. And I have been called a loon. I have been screamed at by a guy in a store one day. I mean, and so I have been a crazy person my whole life. And now 20, 30 years later, we're finding like evidence of this shit. And people are like, did you know that? And I'm like, I fucking knew.
You're right. Okay. So let me you bring conspiracy into it, and now I have to make sure that I insulate myself a little bit.
Conspiracy. No, I know. It needs to be called something else.
Well, it means
that word has a negative connotation now. That word is changed.
So let me say I am no conspiracy theorist in any way, but you may have.
You are a little bit. You haven't realized it. You are a little bit from some of the stuff that you say. But go ahead. Well, that's another.
Well, no, I just I try to stay within the bounds of information that is actually you can see. But sometimes you make leaps of connections between two things, or you assume motivations. We have to be careful.
Wait a minute. Can I add something right there to what you just said? You judge by what we can see and what we know. For only about the past 20 years. Have we as humans that we know For the past 20 years, we know that elephants make sounds that we can't hear. And it's only because of technology that we know this. So you judge things on what we know. All I'm saying is for our entire existence, we did not know that elephants talk to each other all the time in those low sounds because we couldn't hear it. And now we know it. So all I'm saying is keep your mind open to things that we might know in 50 years we don't know now, that have been going on our whole life that we just didn't know. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I know that there's many things that we don't know. Okay. So this is what I'm saying here. Like, these people have had and held on to power for years and years and years. And this is the kind of stuff they're doing with it. Mm-hmm. And it's up to you and me and anyone that we can influence to just convince people to participate, or talk to your neighbor or something and just say, look, you don't have to vote for my party or whatever, but understand that whoever you've been voting for, this is bad stuff that we're getting into. The United States government, the Pentagon, I'm going to get to it in a second. The Pentagon funded EcoHealth Alliance, and Boston University are making a new version of the new COVID strain. According to the news, YouTube, F you, go the fucking hell. So, EcoHealth Alliance, who was involved in research at Wuhan, is now involved in research at the at Boston University. They have taken the spike protein from the Omicron variant. They stuck it on the onto the Wuhan variant, and the Pentagon gave money to EcoHealth Alliance. This is a story from July 2021 for a weapons research program.
Ooh, so they gave this company weapons research money last year, and then now we're getting that this company has funded some COVID variant that's going to kill 80% of the people. All right.
Yeah, so if this gets out of the lab.
These are just stories that we are reporting on. These are not our opinions. These are
I'm not inventing anything here.
These are what we are concluding from these stories that we are reading from the New York Post, and what's the other one from there?
Yeah, it's from from this little rag called the Daily Mail UK, and from Just the News, and New York Post. So
I don't know.
Everybody should be fired. Fauci should be fired. Everybody at the NIH. I mean, just fire the whole thing. We don't need that stuff, man.
Maybe people need to pay attention to real news more during the day instead of like Marvel news.
Well, I mean, it's not as fun, right? I mean, this sure as shit is not fun, but this is some of the most dangerous stuff that I have seen. We got our little intro video or whatever, and I try to take, I've got a couple segments. It takes time to assemble these things. I had a couple segments where I go from like story to story to story, and you can see the slide change and you can kind of see the story develop. And I saw this one and I was like, and I started assembling this, but I mean, it's the most dangerous stuff in the world. For what? Why are we doing this? Oh, because some other country's going to have a bioweapon. This is called escalation, man.
Okay.
All right.
I understand that this is bad, but I'm also one of these people that is like, if I, Joe Schmo, am reading about this in the news along with everybody else, then they've been doing this shit for 15 years and they've got 3 times worse than what I'm actually
sure
getting the information. So we've got a lot to talk
about.
All right.
But
like I said, if they're telling us this, it's worse than it is.
Let's see. What else do I have here? Do you know Steve Bannon? You know who Steve Bannon is?
That name sounds familiar. He's a political person.
He was in Trump's White House the first year, I think. He's a I'm gonna say protege, but he comes from like the Trump school of persuasion. We'll say it that way. So Congress, the January 6th committee, subpoenaed Steve Bannon to appear before their kangaroo court the January 6th committee composed entirely of Democrats and 2 Republicans. I believe it's Adam Kinzinger and the other one being Liz Cheney. So it's composed entirely of Democrats. They summoned Steve Bannon with a subpoena, and Steve Bannon said, I refuse to participate, and basically refused to acknowledge the January 6th committee as legitimate. A court has now, I think, convicted Steve Bannon of contempt of Congress, and so they have ordered him to 6 months in prison. 6 months in prison for contempt of Congress.
We live in a fucking monkey country. All right. We have a bunch of fucking wild apes that are throwing shit at each other, fighting over bananas is all that we're doing. And I'm not being racial about that. If you're too being racial about that, you've got a problem in your world, and that's all you look at. I'm talking about a bunch of freaking wild idiots, and that's all we're doing. It's all, I mean, this country has gone down the shit tubes in the last 20 or 30 years that me and you were raised from our parents and their parents in a sense of pride in this country, that this was the greatest country to grow up in, that if you work hard and bust your ass, you can get what you want. And we do not live in that country anymore.
Nope.
And it's hard for people like me and you, our generation, to actually swallow that pill, like you were saying earlier, because we have been drilled into our fucking head our entire youth and our entire lives by our parents and our grandparents of this. My father is a very hardworking person. All right. Very hardworking. And that generation are very hardworking people because they had to be hardworking. And we're just not anymore. And it's affected our freaking society, man. It's just affected everything. And this country has gone down the shit tubes so fast that I just keep thinking, I don't know what I think. I'm not a positive. I'm not a positive thinker. I think
you know what? I think this is just kind of a learning note as we go. I think we do a lot better whenever I start the morning with like a bunch of fun stories and get you elevated before I poop on you with Pentagon and government stuff. So I'm gonna have to learn.
I don't like to talk about 15 different things in the morning. I don't care how many important stories. I don't like to talk about story after story after story. It's going to piss me off because it ruins my freaking day. And I don't, and I like talking this stuff with you, but there's certain things that will light me on fire quickly. And the chat is one of them that I try to stay away from. I don't even
stay
look
away from the chat. Stay away from the chat. All right, here, let's relax a little bit. There's a globster monster on the Oregon coast.
A what?
A large, mysterious globster has washed up on the Oregon coast. Did you know that? I think there's a video. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. It's a globster. Sort of a glob monster.
Oh, it's something from something.
Yeah, I think it's a dead whale.
Probably.
It was fun for a second. We got a monster.
What was just discovered off the coast of Japan? A frilled shark was discovered off. Hang on, let me find the story.
Yeah. All right.
I just read this. A frilled shark. Video does not show an 80 million year old. Oh, well, video of rare frilled shark is recirculating on social media with false. It's a false. Oh, well. I thought it was real.
You got hoaxed.
I did, I guess.
Like frilled, like
I don't fucking believe a goddamn thing they say. A video over for here. Let me just
pull it up. Let's give it credit before we discredit it.
Yeah. Video of a frilled shark is being shared online and claims that it's an 80 million years old. The video dates back to 2007, was taken at the whatever marine park, and it's called a living fossil due to its lineage goes back 800 million years. However, the frilled shark's lifespan is about 20. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. It is not actually
80 million years
old. We thought that fucking thing was 80 million years old. It's been swimming around the fucking ocean for 80 million years. Jesus Christ, I'm not a fucking idiot. God damn. The shark's lineage supposedly goes back to 80 million years. Supposedly, that's what we think. That's not a fact, people. It's not a fact.
Wait, doesn't everything go back 80 million years? I mean, if anything goes back 80 million years, doesn't it all? That's like saying this rock goes back 80 million years. Yeah, of course it does.
But it was here. Let me see if I can get the video. It's just like after 80 million years of evolution, it just kind of like floats in the water like a fucking piece of plastic. It's not doing anything. It's just kind of.
It just said 80 million years, and I'm a YouTube star. I made it, Mom. I got there.
So there you go. Maybe.
I don't know why, but that reminded me of the plastic island in the Pacific Ocean. You remember the plastic island?
Yeah, yeah. There supposedly is like I read like this 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid, probably back in the day when he first done it, had come up with these bacteria or something that was actually eating plastic.
Yeah.
And then they've went on to have worms and stuff now that eat styrofoam and stuff like that. But supposedly this kid had found this bacteria or cultivated this bacteria that eats plastic. And they were going to set it loose in that plastic island that's in the Atlantic or the Pacific.
Yeah, I think it's in the Pacific. That's where hold on. Look at me actively right now. Self-censor. I just self-censored. I didn't say something that could be construed as
hey, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. You can take your boat and sail your boat right up to a bunch of plastic bottles and garbage. So this is from earth.org, and it's actually a little bit old. This is from June 1, 2020. Over 300 million tons of plastic, that's tons with two N's and an E, is produced annually across the globe. Of this, 50% is destined for single use. So you got like single use water bottle or something. Yeah, anyway. Apparently there is some bacteria. So bioremediation is a key concept surrounding the development of plastic-eating bacteria. It's a technique which utilizes biological mechanisms such as microbes to eradicate hazardous pollutants and restore the ecosystem to its original condition. Maybe the Pentagon could take some of this and put it on like Nancy Pelosi's face and just, you know what I mean?
You think it would completely eat her face off?
Oh my God.
It would
just be a skull and two little eyeballs poking out of the skull.
From Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Crypt Keeper. She'd look like the Crypt Keeper. Yeah. All right. That's fun. All right. Let's talk about.
No, we're sorry. JJ and I, we really love you, Nancy. We wish for your health and wealth and good times for your family.
Yeah. I mean, I value her so much that she's got a little segment in our intro video. All right. Here. I'm gonna bridge us to monster movies. Okay. But I'm going to do it again with Pentagon. Remember that you're mad at the Pentagon.
Okay.
And yeah, I know.
Cool.
I know. Remember a couple months ago we saw this robot dog. Do you remember this? We saw a robot dog.
Yeah.
And somebody put a machine gun on it, because that's actually a great idea. Let's put a gun on a robot dog. And then let it shoot stuff.
That is a scary ass sound. Just don't say anything. Let it. Hang on.
Yeah.
That's a scary ass sound.
Look at that. Oh, here. Let me make it bigger. More bigger.
You're hiding somewhere. Freaking robot with a gun's coming after you, and you're hearing this.
It's not only like a robot with a gun, but it's got its little feet on its little pads, whatever, and it's trying to like stabilize. So you get this percussion of like.
That's what I'm talking about. You're sitting there hiding from this freaking robot with his gun,
and it's just stomping at you.
and you know it's taking little bitty steps to stabilize itself.
Let's see if it'll.
Yeah, we've seen this. We're gonna.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to remind you of that.
Okay.
Before I showed you one of my favorite. I was thinking about this all day yesterday. It's one of my favorite monster movies, scary movies from 1995. The movie Screamers.
I've never seen this.
You've never seen this? This movie is about a like military, like a little military team. You can kind of think kind of like Aliens. You got like military. Marines,
are we starting our monster movies?
Yeah, we are. That's a
you didn't get the background in our thing at the bottom. Come on.
Do we have a? Oh, yeah. I mean, I should have had this up the whole time because these evil sons of bitches are here. these evil
I thought we had a special background too.
Oh, that's where we had a werewolf video. I don't have a.
Did that.
This is more like for zombie movies. I don't have one for like whatever Screamers is. Oh, but I will remind you that these people are disgusting. All right. Scream. Let me tell you about Screamers, and I'll play the trailer here in a second. Screamers is about like this military outpost. I don't know, a half dozen guys or whatever, that are stationed over on some other planet way over here, and they got an outpost, and there's like another outpost that they lost communication with. So kind of like well, I don't want to mention that movie because it's one of my favorite movies too, and I'm going to bring it up later. So the people at this outpost, they lost contact with the other outpost, so they try to send an expedition crew over there to find out what's going on. Except they're on this planet where they've been at war with somebody else, and one of the things they did in war was create these drones. Now, they didn't call them drones. They called them Screamers. But in light of 2022, these things are drones. And they burrow through the earth at super fast speed. And they pop up and they just wipe people out. So I'm going to play the trailer for Screamers. I can't believe you've never seen this. I'm going to have to pull your man card. Come on. Get past the preview and the federal part that says that I can't do this anyway. Come on. Play. Here we go. From the novelist that brought you Blade Runner. That's Philip K. Dick and Total Recall. Oh, who's that? Do you got sound?
No, I don't have sound.
Oh my God. Yeah,
are we doing this whole? Okay.
Go back here.
And long forgotten by those who settled it. For Commander Joseph A. Hendrickson, it is worse than hell. It is home.
What are they?
There is a new terror in their midst.
Why is this thing not...
Screamer was developed for us by Alliance on Earth and neutralized the war on the ground here.
How do you know it's dead?
They yanked this brain out.
Pretty smart.
Maybe too smart. This one seems to have modified itself.
It was designed to protect them from their enemies until it turned its sights on them.
Are they alive?
No one knows. They make themselves now.
I heard the screaming, and then it got very quiet.
Yeah.
Nothing except the smell of death.
Chuck, we got a new kind of screamer.
He was like a person.
What are they supposed to look like? Oh, you mean who are they supposed to look like?
They're smarter now. That's how they get into our bunkers.
Once it gets inside, that's when the killing starts.
Now, the only way to tell
This is
man
such a fun movie.
is one of them from the machine is by the sound of their scream.
Things ain't what they used to be.
I can never... I always get them mixed up. Is that Ed Harris or is that...
No.
It's the other one. It's RoboCop.
That's RoboCop. I can't think of his name off the top of my
See,
head.
I always get those two confused. And I love them both.
Yeah.
Peter Weller.
Peter Weller. Yeah.
Yeah, it's based on Philip K. Dick. You know, Philip K. Dick wrote so many short stories that have turned into major motion pictures, and most of them are like real, like, you know, brain twists.
It's
Anyway,
funny. One of my movies here has got stars Ed Harris.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's funny.
Ed Harris is great. So Screamers. If you haven't seen Screamers, I don't know where you can watch it. You can search it up. But that is definitely probably an hour and a half of a fun movie. That is a great movie. 6.3 on IMDb, but I rate it 10 out of 10. So I didn't know I did that, but I for sure do. Love it. All right. You got a monster movie this morning? Oh, you're radio. He's doing radio. What about you guys? Have you guys seen Screamers? I know Jeremy has. That's Dr. Peter Weller. Is it really? No way. No way he's a doctor. I need to know all about Peter Weller. He has a hold on. He sure as shit is, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I did not know this. Dr. Peter Weller. Maybe I can remember that he's not Ed Harris now. Peter Weller is an American film and stage actor, director, television director, art historian, and he's appeared in more than 70 films and TV shows, including RoboCop and RoboCop 2, and like I don't know, a bunch of those. But here, look at here, University of North Texas, bachelor's degree in not 1890. I don't know when he got that. But my wife not only went to UNT, she got one of her master's degrees at UNT. Syracuse University, he got a master's degree there, and then the University of California, he got a PhD. And he's been married since 2006. So that is dope. Did you? All right, Deacon, are you pushing your button? He's doing radio stuff. I bet he didn't know this either. That's amazing. Thank you, Mr. E. That is great information. I did not know that. Mr. E just illuminated all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that Peter Weller is a PhD?
Do what now?
Peter Weller is a doctor.
Oh, yeah?
That is Dr. Peter Weller to you.
Is he a doctor, honorary doctor, or is he a really went and studied doctor? Because if he's an honorary doctor, he can take that doctor PhD and shove it up his ass. I ain't calling him Dr. Weller. But if he studied his ass off and went to college like normal people do.
No, I guess I need to go check his CV.
I will gladly
find out on his CV.
I don't give a shit. Is he still alive? Is Peter Weller still alive?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would call it. If I were Peter Weller, I would insist on being called Dr. RoboCop, though.
Where's his
education?
Back in the day, man.
He legitimately did it. In 2007, he started a PhD at UCLA in Italian Renaissance art history, and in 2013, he filed his dissertation.
Okay.
You owe him an apology.
No, wait a minute. I owe him a partly apology. I will
partly apology,
Dr. Peter Weller, because you did go to school and it's not an honorary degree, but your degree is the dumbassest fucking degree I've ever heard in my life.
It isn't.
So I don't respect you for your fucking degree, but I will respect you for your education level.
You kind of
studying your dumbass degree.
You got a little bit of a point there, a little bit.
All right, so can I go to mine?
Yeah, let's do yours. So Screamers. If you haven't seen Screamers, go watch Screamers.
I don't have a 75-minute dissertation about my movie like JJ did. We're going to get through quickly, all right, because I don't have that much to say about it. But I have picked my movies, my monster movies, like I said last Monday. My movies are picked because of the way that they made me feel at the time that I was watching. You can watch these movies today, or you can say, oh, that one's not a scary movie or something like that today. Because one of them you could probably say, oh, that one you could watch it today and that's not that scary. Right. But at the time, It was very scary. Age, the way the world was, all kinds of stuff at the time.
Right.
Oh, and so that's with one of them, but not this one. One of my favorite movies. Let me get it.
I'm gonna see if do you think it's on my list at all?
I don't know. This one could be on your list.
Okay,
My other
right.
3 are probably not on your list.
All right.
Those are classics that I watched as a kid. This
Okay.
one I watched. This one's a 90s movie, so this one could be on your list.
Might be.
The Abyss. Oh, it's
Oh my God, it's supposed to be. Jeez, I'm fixing that right now. I love The Abyss.
The Abyss, man. 1989, starring Ed Harris and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. You remember her, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio? But it is they find this alien underneath the water. They're searching for this sub. They're on this oil rig. And it is fantastic movie. Fantastic. And when you watch this watching this as a kid, or there she is, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. When you watch this as a kid, it was just that they're underwater and that enclosed feeling that I got. You feel like you can't get out of it. It's so far up, and you've got the bends and all this crap that you got to go through that. You're like you're trapped.
I mean, the first time you ever even heard of, and you don't hear it much anymore, liquid oxygen, which is a real thing. It's like when it's how you're. Well, I don't know. Do they count as humans when they're in a person's womb? It's how they breathe, as they have umbilical fluid.
Yeah, remember there's a part. Look at that part. Remember she
touches the thing, and the thing kind of like replicates her face.
Yeah.
And there's this guy right here who is increasingly losing his mind because he's down underwater or whatever. He can't handle the confinement.
Kyle Reese, wasn't he Kyle Reese from
was he?
Terminator? It has to be this guy. I think that is Kyle Reese. I think he.
Michael Biehn. Michael Biehn, absolutely.
Yeah. I saw his face and I'm like, man, that looks like.
I'm pretty sure Michael Biehn.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not dead. I don't know why I thought he was dead. I thought Michael Biehn was dead. My bad. Sorry, Michael.
All right, so The Abyss is one of my picks this week. It is a wonderful movie. If you have not seen The Abyss, it is not a horror movie. It's about aliens, and it's underneath the water. And it's a thriller, and it keeps you, you're like, oh.
There's a feeling of kind of like being like crushed, because this rig is at the bottom of the ocean and they can't just go up to the surface, because there's like a hurricane or some storm.
Oh, you're right. That's right. You're right.
Yeah,
there was like a hurricane or something coming through.
I think one of the ships is tethered to the station, and like the hurricane or whatever pulls it and it dislodges it. But man, I could be wrong about that. My God, there's the implosion scene where they had the little submersible craft and it slips too far or whatever, and the mass of the ocean compresses it, and then it bloop, and it implodes rather than explodes. It's pretty awesome. That's one of my favorite movies for sure. I had to put that on my list. I think I made that number. I've just moved that into number 11 position. All right. So
excellent.
But
you'll have to watch Screamers. That movie Screamers looks like something that I would watch. There was a movie. What was the movie from the 80s with I think it had Tom Selleck about those robot spiders?
Oh my God, yeah. I've seen that.
That's movie, but I would like to watch it again just because I remember watching it as a kid. I think it was Tom Selleck, wasn't it? Tom Selleck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was. And I think he was like a cop or something. I don't remember. Yeah. I remember that. I do remember from that movie, they had that little robot spider, and they get like jumped up on somebody's face.
Yeah, they jump. Yeah. It's you watch it today and you're like, oh, that's dumb.
All right. Well, I don't know.
What's your next one?
You want to do another one?
I got 4.
We got a few. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay.
Oh, you didn't pick. Okay, let me go to the next one.
I said like 1 or 2. Yeah, you do another one. I mean, I can just
because I had 4 already picked out.
Oh, I thought we were doing.
All right, I had 4 for Monday, but I didn't get to mine yesterday. You did all yours yesterday, and I never got to mine.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do mine.
Yeah, do them.
I'll do 3. I can leave off one.
I mean, I got a whole list here. I can for sure.
One of
Let's
mine
go.
today was The Exorcist, and everybody's fucking seen that, and it's a scary movie, and yeah, it's scary. But I watched it as a kid, and it was scary as hell to me. The Exorcist. Let me share with you another one.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this one. You may have. I know you've heard of it, but I don't know if you've seen it. A lot of people haven't. Children of the Corn. Have you seen?
I have seen that, but I think I remember watching I think there was a remake in the 1990s.
Yeah, there was a remake. It's not the original. This 80s one was pretty scary, and it's got what's her name in it. You see her that played
Linda Hamilton. Is that Linda Hamilton?
Yeah. And she, her and her boyfriend, they go through this town. There's nobody in this freaking town. And they go and there's all these kids, and these kids have formed this cult, and, they kidnap and kill the adults. And it's freaky, man. I mean, it was a freaky little movie. And I watched it a long ass time ago as a kid, and it scared the crap. I guess that's probably that's a new one. So Children of the Corn is one of mine. Anyone over the age of 18 must be killed. Yeah, that was back when Stephen King.
This was a super popular movie in the 80s. I remember in terms of like, I remember being like 3rd, 4th grade, and like all the kids around us were like watching scary movies that they shouldn't have been, so they would talk about it. Yeah. Same. And Children of the Corn was one of those. All right.
This was during Stephen King's drinking era, where he was writing his really, really good stuff, and he had a lot of stories that were like this. They were kind of, they show some of them up there, Carrie and The Shining, not the Jack Nicholson, Stanley Kubrick's one. That one's not the book. Christine was kind of like this. Cujo was like this. Some of the stuff that he wrote as Richard Bachman was like this. It just seemed like when Stephen King got sober, his writing definitely changed when he got sober, but his writing just got terrible. It's not as good. And I hate to say that. It's right. My opinion.
There's been a couple of Stephen King things that I liked, but I mean, generally, I've found everything that he's done to be tedious, or the pacing is bad.
The pacing is, and I will admit this, I love Stephen King and I love his earlier writing. I've read most of it, but Stephen King is one of those people. You're exactly right. His pacing and if the character is walking into a room, he's going to describe everything in the room, and the feeling and the temperature and the wind and the relative humidity and everything. So yeah, it's kind of shit. Let me get to this last one, because this last one.
Let me do one.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Cool. I got a whole list.
You're good. You're good.
But I had a gag set up with the other one with the robot dog. So,
you had your JJ gag. I forget about your JJ gags. You go to extremes to make your jokes.
I'm trying to entertain these people. I got to get them here and keep them here and remind them that at any given time, you guys can go to rumble.com/JJW and like the video and also join our community. That's it is. Straight pander. 2018, A Quiet Place.
Never saw
this movie. What?
I never watched it. It's on my list. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's so good, blah blah blah." So I was like, "Okay, I'll." That's one. And I believe Ashley even told me, "Oh, you got to watch that." I think, and she don't even watch movies like this, and I think she watched this.
She's right, dude. And let me tell you, you cannot be watching this while also playing Contest of Champions on your phone.
Okay. All right.
You missed the experience of seeing this in the theater, because this was
I don't watch movies in the theaters anymore.
But I don't really either, but not that often. But this was an amazing experience, and the reason is this:
because of the sound.
Because of the sound. Because if you've been to movies in the last 20 years, you got retards with their phones out, or people making noise, or there's always talking, or sometimes there's people talking to the movie or whatever. In this movie, nobody said anything. The movie didn't. Nobody in the movie talked, and nobody in the audience talked. It was.
I bet that was awesome in the movie theater. You're right.
There was music. There was sound effects, but nobody talked. And anytime somebody almost talked, it was the stress level just jumped, because you were like, oh,
I didn't
Now,
know
I'm not going to
that.
spoil this for you. No.
No, don't spoil it. I didn't know that no one said a word in the movie. I just thought that it was like, oh, okay. Well, that makes this movie a little more interesting to me.
I mean,
because I like good acting, and if there's no talking, they have to act.
I can't even. I don't even want to give you the setup in the first scene. The first scene alone is just going to make you like ish yourself, and then the rest of the movie, it's so good.
Okay, because I don't know anything about this movie other than they didn't say anything, but I thought it was just like some monster that was going to get them while they didn't talk, while they talked or something. So I'm not going to look.
We got a cool porn bot showed up in our chat. So hello, it's porn bot. Hey, porn bot, can you make sure to give our video a like and a thumbs up or whatever?
Video before spam us with titties.
Yeah. So A Quiet Place 2018. There is a sequel, A Quiet Place 2. I don't think it's as good, but the first one is just mind bending.
So
it's amazing.
So I can barely read that on the screen.
Yeah,
it says director. Is that Jim from The Office? Is the director?
That is
too?
Yes. That
is. Wow, I didn't know that either. I knew he was in this movie.
Jim Krasinski, he directed it. He's in it. Great job. His wife at the time, I think that they have since are split up. But Emily Blunt, she is amazing.
Yeah,
and
she's good actors.
All of the kid actors too. This little girl right here, she's great. So it's just amazing. So I rate this. I also rate this 10 out of 10.
Okay, that's
for
good.
sure. It's my top of my list. Okay. All right, give me one more, and then we'll pack it in for the day, and I'll see you guys on the Discord server.
My last one.
Hey, hold on. Brian's got news. He paid $7 for a hot dog, and the hot dog and 2 drinks and 2 popcorn, more than movie tickets, and the chairs were frumpy. He'll never go back to the movie theaters.
Preach on, Brian.
$7 for a hot dog.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and when you go with your kids, you're wanting to make it a good, memorable, enjoyable experience. So when the kids were little, I budgeted for that crap. And I knew it was going to cost me an arm and a leg, but it was an experience for the kids. But we don't do it all the time. Like you used to. You used to go to the movies all the time, and now it's not like that. It's like, how many do you go to the amusement park every week? No, because it costs fucking a bunch. So it's like that. We're going to go to the movies once every 3 months, and it's going to cost $250, and we're going to watch
some expensive
stupid freaking movie that you can freaking predict the outcome. And it is. It's everything's gotten ridiculous. Okay, so my final movie today, in no particular order, is a movie that I did go to the movie theaters and see. And at the time, it was a big deal. At the time, you will remember this movie. You probably went to the movie theaters and saw this, maybe. But is it
Masters of the Universe?
It is. It is Masters of the Universe. With Dolph Lundgren.
I saw it in the theater.
No, this movie was, when it was released at the time, there was a lot of I don't want to say controversy, but I guess it was controversy going around about this movie, if it was real or not, for a little bit. And I think a majority
my God.
You know what it is. A majority of the people thought that this was not real. But there are some people that did think that it was real, because this was the first movie that was made and directed in this style. Yeah. And I don't know why you're making a face, because this is why I brought the movie up.
No.
This is not the I'm going to move down. But the Blair Witch Project, when it came out, was fantastic. Movie. You went to the movie. I remember sitting in the movie theaters and watching this movie and going through it. And when you get to the end, you're just like, what in the hell? What's going on? Because it was supposedly found footage. So it's not your traditional movie. It's not your traditional movie telling. It's not your traditional documentary telling. There's not really a sense of closure at the end unless you give yourself some closure. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So
yeah.
I loved this movie at the time because of what it did and how different it was and how it had the whole fucking world talking about it. And the only way we knew that the solidifying fact, the solidifying punch for me was that actress at the time. I don't know her name, but she was also on a Steak and Shake commercial. There was a Steak and Shake commercial where she was the fucking waitress in the Steak and Shake. And that is the only reason you knew that it wasn't real, because they marketed it so well before this movie came out and while this movie was out that it was real. And nothing had ever been done like that before.
It was the first found footage style style movie project, right?
Yeah.
So the creative conceit is that like this was some, college group that was filming something in the woods, and then they all disappeared and somebody found the footage and assembled it into a film.
Yeah, and because that's why the ending of the movie is, you just have that crazy camera drop and you see that thing, that's standing there, and then that's it. And then that's it. Because that gave to the effect that that gave to the illusion that this was found footage, because there's not an ending. You don't have anything to the end. That was we found this footage and here it is. And this is how we're presenting it to you. So at the time when we watched this movie, it was, oh my God. Well, so let me say this.
It was different. And it definitely energized people. Some people, a lot of people. I just wasn't one of those people.
That's fine. And that's fine. A lot of people did not like the movie, and that's fine. But I looked at it, Heather Donahue, that's who it was. And I looked at it differently because it was different, and I thought it was entertaining like that. But let me say this, me and Kendra, my oldest, 17, went back and we watched this not too long ago, 2 or 3 months ago, during the middle of the day. It's like, hey, let's watch this. This was so good. And we watched it and we kind of were tee-hee-heeing at it. We were like, that's kind of silly. But then I was, as it was going on, I was explaining to her, during the time we thought this, and she was the same way. She was like, I can see that. And at the end of the movie, she was kind of like, what happened? And I was like, well, this and this. And she was
if you're there to get a movie told to you, it's not satisfying.
Yeah. So I don't argue. I don't try to argue with people that, no, this is a great movie. When people say, I didn't like that movie, I'm like, I can see it. I understand why you didn't like that movie. I did, so it's not a.
Now, this had to be an inexpensive movie to produce, and it made a bunch of money. It cost $60,000, $60,000 to make, and has made $248 million.
Yeah.
So that is a ratio of $10,931 per dollar spent. It has been a massively successful film.
Successful. Yes. And people can still say that's the dumbest movie in the world, but if you're saying it's all my argument was at the time, the time period, and the way that they marketed this, it was genius, and it worked.
Have there been any better found footage style projects? This was really the first found footage style that I know of.
I don't know. I don't know. But there's my last one today, the
Blair Witch Project. All right.
Thought it was great.
Spooky.
You like spooky?
I remember sitting in the theater in that movie and watching that movie and getting to the last scene, and the camera drops and then the credits roll, and then I was like, motherfuckers. It's like the whole movie is like a joke on a bunch of people.
I loved it. And have you ever walked out of a movie?
Oh yeah, for sure. I walked out of Justice League, Batman, Superman, one of those.
Really?
Yeah, it was terrible.
I've walked out of one movie. I've only walked out of one movie. It was the worst thing I'd ever seen in my life, and I left.
Yeah.
The Jim Carrey version of The Grinch That Stole Christmas.
I don't think anybody can blame me for this.
That's the worst piece of shit that's ever been directed. And I love Jim Carrey, and I like The Grinch That Stole Christmas, but that was a honking pile of shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit there and watch it.
Now, so just Man of Steel 2 or Justice League or whatever, one of those. I walked out. My wife and I both walked out of that. But there is a scary movie that my wife walked out of, and I was like, I'll see you later. I'm going to stay and watch this thing. And that was Cabin in the Woods. My wife saw some of the, I don't know if it was the redneck zombies or the I don't know what, but there was some just
it might have been
monster stuff happening there. And she was like, I'm out. I'll be in the lobby. And I'm like, well, there's like an hour left, so I'll see you in an hour. All right.
I hear.
Like, yeah, they're coming. Here they come. Come here, darling. Good morning, sweethearts. Do you want to say hello to Uncle Jeremy and Uncle Deacon?
Hi.
Here you go. There you go.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Did you just wake up?
Did you just wake up?
Yeah.
Did you have any good dreams?
Yeah, I had a dream about like a scary monster with green bright hair and green dark hair.
Dark It had green hair. It was a scary monster with green hair.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness!
He played with me. That's
okay.
Uncle Jeremy says hi, yeah.
Hi.
All right.
That's what I dreamed about.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go get dressed, okay?
Not yet.
Oh.
Hi. Hi, guys. Hi. With the hit the like on because I want to hear Deacon.
Oh, you want to hear Deacon? Okay, one more thing, and then we're gonna go. Thanks for watching, everybody. I thought I had it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll be here tomorrow morning. Another great show. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and Deacon, you need to pick another werewolf movie for tomorrow.
Okay, I have one. I have my ultimate werewolf movie.
Ultimate werewolf
movie. Do we have another Wednesday? We have Wednesday next week.
Yeah.
So I'll save this werewolf movie for next week because it's my ultimate all-time favorite werewolf movie of all time.
All right.
So I'll save it for next week. I'll pick another one for tomorrow.
All right. Tomorrow's going to be Werewolf Wednesday. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Best show ever. You better show up. And hey, while you're here, can you guys share this thing out
Deacon,
so we need to get some more audience.
Deacon, can you speak like a duck? No.
Oh my gosh.
I can't talk. Hello.
All right. Bye.